Good evening, everyone. We're going to open the zoning board of appeals meeting. Howard Tracer, Wayne Baker, and Eric Spine, members, Sue Noyes, our administrator, and Larry Murphy from the planning board. So, I'm going to read the first hearing and only hearing.
Sure, first and only hearing. Plum Island LLC, care of Mark Griffin, 11 Annapolis Way West. Continued hearing. The applicant is requesting a finding for relief from section 97-4D as the proposed construction will increase both the height and lot coverage on the lot property located at 11 Annapolis Way West. Assessors map U02-0-120 and within the Plum Island Overlay District, PIOD.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You want to bring a chair up, or
You want to do it that way?
however you want to do
No,
it?
that's fine. That's
We're
fine.
pretty informal.
I thought maybe you had changed on that.
No.
Okay. Happy to do it.
I'll set up.
Come on up. Kind of a, nobody else is here, anyway. Except everyone.
So we, that's very helpful, thank you. So you might be familiar with this property. It is on a hill behind Surfland. And it's owned by Mr. Cowie's family, in-laws actually. And so it's in the residential agricultural district. It's also in the Plum Island Overlay District. And since it's elevated where it is, it's actually not in the flood zone. I mentioned that in my memorandum. So this building is not required to be put on pilings even when it's being reconstructed. And so that, this lot is a little over 16,000 square feet, which is pretty large for Plum Island. Doesn't meet the 1 acre zoning of the residential agricultural district, so it's pre-existing non-conforming for lot area. It's also pre-existing non-conforming for frontage, although it's got 120 feet of frontage, which is pretty significant also for Plum Island. With respect to setbacks, it meets them all, and it meets the floor to area ratio as well, and it's under the height. So the only existing nonconformities are lot area and frontage. The applicant desires to, again, reconstruct this going slightly outside the existing footprint and increasing the height slightly above what was there. And so it's going to be a larger house with respect to volume, but the height is only going to go up from 27 feet 3 inches to 29 feet 9 inches over here. The footprint is going to go out just a little. There's more decking around here than there was, and there's an addition. Looking at it upside down is not. Yeah, there's the expansion right there. So that's the addition that doesn't exist over here.
It's an existing deck.
Right. So the volume, as I mentioned, goes up. So the FAR is basically going from about 15% to a little over 24%. But within the existing dimensional requirements in the PIOD. So the setbacks, the rear setback is going to diminish, but still well within the PIOD rear setback. The front setback will not change. That will change slightly, but it's way more than what is necessary in the PIOD. And the side setbacks will still comply. So basically, when the proposed structure is, if we're approved, when the proposed structure is built, it's going to comply with all the dimensional requirements except the already pre-existing lot area and frontage, which we can't do anything about. And so now that you sort of have the overview of what we're doing, we'll turn it over to Brandon Holden, who's the architect for the project, and he's just going to describe what's being built in more detail than I can.
Yep.
Good evening. Good evening. Running through on the slideshow. Can I see it here? So again, this is just the existing roof plan, site plan that we have for reference here, and not just the outline of the back sheet, this is a whole series of existing plans. We have an existing lower level plan. And again, so the plan with the building is to maintain the existing foundation, the existing first floor, and then build up from there. So the existing house has really short ceilings on the first floor up, on the lower level. So he's looking to sort of rebuild from that point up. That's with the increase in height, is getting the desired ceiling heights. So just general, the foundation is all staying intact and really done there. There are some piles over on the right side, existing piles from addition that was done years back. The original house was, this version of the house was the 80s. It's been a house there much longer, but this house was built in the 80s. There was a pile addition done later 80s, early 90s to the west. And as you go up, then you get the full footprint there of the structure on the main level. And then again, this is the existing configuration. And on the plan, we outlined all of the rooms. So we have the existing rooms outlined on the plans with the square footages, as well as on the proposed plans. So you can see the upper second floor plan, it's a very small dormer bedroom up there, and that's an attic space. Existing elevations. See the pile addition off to the west, the right side of the upper image. And we get into so this is the proposed lower level plan. So we're kind of reconfiguring the space. Again, it's a simple layout, expanding the garage area in the existing plan. So that is getting larger. That helps with that floor area ratio. Lower level is an entry and exercise room, and then the existing utility space is remaining utility. It's a new stair that's being configured right there. And much more open living space, higher ceilings. We've got the kitchen on the back now. It's being built out over that addition toward Annapolis Way, and open dining and living space toward the covered porch on the front. So we're sort of wrapping that covered porch around a little bit, and then that turns the trellis. So we have a series of closed porches and trellis areas. In this level, there's a suite, master suite configuration here with half bath. There's a sauna, laundry room storage. As you go up to the second floor, living area, double height space, and there's a bedroom suite on the side as well. And move back to the right. There's been some one of the neighbors. There was some concern from the neighbor to the west.
Yeah, we should point out that what you're looking at here is slightly different from the plans that were filed originally within the last week or so.
Okay, so what's different?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This plan is really this screen wall. So we had a railing that was going around, just open rail, and after the neighbor had some back and forth with the client, David went over and took some photos from his bedroom window, and it was a very similar elevation to the roof deck.
It was a privacy issue with respect to the neighbor.
Yeah, so David took it upon himself to propose making this change, which the neighbor was happy with, which is a screen, so it's a solid lower part of the railing, and then some open louvers at the top, just to create some privacy. And we'll show you what that looks like in the elevation. And then he was also looking at adding a widow's walk on the top, which slightly affects the mean roof height, but it's still below the maximum. So again, this is a two-level covered deck. So you have one on the first floor, and this suite here has a covered deck that wraps around. It's open trellis on this side, open trellis there, and then a lower deck. And this is the new upper roof deck plan that shows the widow's walk, and then the top of the screen element there as well. Elevations. So the changes are that you can see what was when I had the original drawings right
Yeah.
from in your set as well, but it was just an open rail coming across here, so we added this screen, shingle screen element here, so it's a solid wall piece up about 4 feet, and then some louvered, infill for the, trellis type structure above that. There's the widow's walk feature on the roof, which is, we're treating it like a, building it over the existing, the hip that was designed. Elevations here, so this is Annapolis Way elevation. This is kind of the biggest, the largest side where you have the greatest sloping down significantly for Annapolis Way from the front of the boulevard side. And this is where you have your 2-car garage now, which was a single car garage. So that garage is expanded to a 2-car, and this structure comes out a little bit, gives you a little covered area underneath that. And there's a informal entrance in the back here, and a wood screened outdoor shower. We added some renderings here, just visual, show you that. So that's the screen wall feature on the west here, and it's at the widow's walk top, the stairs sort of wrapping around. And up.
So is the widow's walk behind, below the highest peak on the other side, or?
It is, so, yes, the mean roof height, so we measured to the mean roof height, the railing, it was 31.9. Closer than that.
You went through conservation yet?
Yes.
They approved that?
They approved the impacts to the ground, they don't really get into the height of the structure.
No, I'm just talking about the flow of anything at the lower level, that's,
Because there's no changes to the existing, yes. They're keeping the same footprint of the original foundation.
the foundation, correct. Got a garage and all that.
Garage is there now. So what you come up with for the roof height?
31.9.
31.9, so that's 2 feet more than what was proposed in the original plan.
There's the average of the,
Mean height.
Yeah, so we went to the top of the rail.
The only thing that were not on the conservation plan at the time that it was shown to them was the outdoor shower, which we have to get approved through them as a minor change. And I know we've got some discussion that we've had with the owner about how that shower is going to be done, because I know there's restrictions on the height of the shower head and things like that that they
Now
have.
you might need to get new reports signed up on that too.
Yeah, I think it just about covers the divisions and.
So again, those were a couple of slight changes. The finding criteria, as you all know, in this particular case, the reason we have to be here is because we need a finding because we're going up above the height of the existing structure, and we're also expanding the footprint somewhat. And so in the PILD, that requires a finding in order to do that. And the criteria for the finding is that what we're proposing is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than what exists. In this instance, I would submit that it's definitely not substantially more detrimental than what's there right now. Right now, the building is, getting tired, and this is going to be, I would say, from the renderings and from the plans that we've seen, it's going to be an aesthetically pleasing building. It's going to add to the neighborhood. As you know, Plum Island is somewhat eclectic, and this building, this proposal will look like some of the buildings out on Plum Island. Not all of them, of course, but some of them. And so I think it'll fit in with the neighborhood and present, an attractive substitution for what is there right now. We're not creating any new nonconformities, and we're not significantly affecting any other nonconformities and staying within all of the dimensional requirements associated with the building itself. The only ones that will continue to exist will be the lot area and the frontage over which we have no control. And again, you also get the benefit of an upgraded building with respect to building and fire code. Probably a more safe structure, I would submit, and all of those things taken together lead me to conclude that it's not going to be substantially more detrimental than what exists, and respectfully request that you approve the finding. Thank you.
Elaine, do you have any questions for him? Eric?
Yep.
I'm sure you do.
So on the technicality, but so on the application, you have the Raymond and Kay Moulton trustees, Realty Trust.
KMM.
Yep.
Yep.
The application's signed by Dave and Elizabeth Cowie, but are they part of the trustees, or?
I believe both parents are deceased.
Yeah, they just inherited.
Correct. And so,
So Raymond and Kay Moulton are deceased.
Right.
So Elizabeth Moulton is the trustee of the trust.
all right,
She's the
so
daughter.
Sam wrote a letter to people that
Well,
aren't kicking and the
he
application.
did, but the applicant is actually Plum Island LLC. So.
I'm just trying to get it straight.
We got the.
That's what the assessor's records shows too, so.
Okay, that's just one, that was a small one. Bedrooms, there's 2 existing, and they're going to 3.
No,
No,
three,
it's
three,
three.
three.
3 and 3?
Yep.
The lot area checked out, I calculated slightly higher. The drawings that were submitted were not, I mean, they're drawn to scale, but they're not printed to scale, so I do it as a rough takeoff. You submitted the deed in here, and I couldn't figure out what the deed was referencing. It's referencing a different property unless somehow Annapolis Way West was changed from, this is lot 120 Annapolis Way.
Yeah, they're referencing the old Plum Island Beach plan rather than the address of the
Okay.
property, unfortunately.
So that's kind of confusing because
It
there's,
is confusing. Back in '97, I think somebody from the registry could probably vouch for that, but they didn't always put down the actual postal address back in the day. And now it's required, but they put a lot on it.
yeah, and then parcels 1, 2, and 3. So that was just extremely confusing, trying to figure out what that was trying to tell me. Average grade seems to check out in terms of starting with the height. And so the 2 big questions I have, one is that we don't have a drawing for this new changes, and I know they seem small, Mark, but we just don't have them, haven't had a chance to check.
No, I understand
Check them
that.
out.
We didn't want to file it late, and, but the negotiation with the neighbor didn't take place until recently, and I know this has been on file for, 2 months, and so it certainly would have been our preference to have, filed those plans in a timely fashion. So, we understand that if the board needs time to review them or, something of that nature, but.
Is the design done? I mean, is this,
Design's done, yeah.
So-
This is it.
that's pointless, we just don't have a true elevation or record of this height. And then the FAR does not include the garage area.
Correct.
So the definition says that it will include all space except for uninhabitable attic and any suspended mechanical room. It doesn't say that the garage would be, there's nothing about not including the garage or spaces that are on the first floor, whether they be mechanical or not.
There's another spot that references not including the garage calculation.
You wrote not included in GFA, your check box.
No, in the ordinance, there was another
But it
spot
was,
that was in question.
Yeah, we went over that pretty good detail, so.
Larry, that's question in terms of the definition, I know had been worked on in terms of coming up continuously about this hung mechanical space for allotting people and now having a definition. And I would bring up separately that we had discussed, or at least I had knowingly discussed with Martha at one time and George, when he was the liaison, this is maybe a separate issue, but can be demonstrated here, that a flat roof is different from a pitched roof. And if you have some pitched roof with a flat roof, the definition of the height of that is different.
So here it is, right here. Number 3, the following are to be excluded from gross floor area, attached or detached garages and carports.
But the rest of the space that's not a quote garage, I mean, the mechanical,
Yeah, I think we included the utilities space.
so I mean, there's entry, there's storage, there's utilities, there's a bathroom, closet.
Yeah, we counted all that in the area.
Okay. So they included the utility
Right.
and the, oh, wait a minute.
So there's 471.
Yeah, there's utility existing and proposed.
Okay. So that's one thing we should make note of, is the definition of floor area, or gross floor area.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been privy to that conversation, but we are having a couple of workshops coming up for
Yep.
zoning changes, so if you want to shoot me something to Martha, so we can get it on our agenda to talk about.
That was it.
Any comments, Larry? While you're here?
No?
Okay. I'll just close the meeting for a minute and talk about it. I think it meets all of the requirements. Our setbacks, FAR, lot coverage, height. The only thing we need to do is verify the plans, the new plan.
Yeah, that we don't have.
That's the only question I have about it.
Yeah, after all that, I think that all checks out.
Right, so, do we wanna vote on this contingent on plans and you can review them?
Do you have a,
Yeah, these are copies.
We have 7
Garage.
so can we just look at the elevation now?
Okay.
So-
That's better.
Whichever packet.
Yeah.
What does it say, new roof?
Says mean roof height right here.
Yeah,
It's
but-
two railing, but then it's the one, two
And that's-
railings.
Yeah, but it doesn't give you a height.
Well, it's right here, 29.
Oh, okay.
9.
Yeah, all right.
And then it's saying to the mean height, top of railing,
Okay. Yeah.
is 31 feet 9. Dude, what's the top of the railing height?
Yeah, so that was measuring somewhere.
It's not indicated on there.
We have front deck and then 3 feet up, so it's 4 feet up from the bridge.
So it'd be about 35.9 to the top of the,
Yeah,
top of the railing.
yeah, yeah, we can put the deck over the ridge structure and then we could,
So the top of the railing is still under the height.
Well, it's over the height by 9 inches, if we do a rough calculation, but if you took the height from the eave to the top of the railing and divided that in half,
Right,
you
the
just-
mean is low.
Yeah.
the mean, that act,
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
that's 31.9.
Right, yeah,
So you're still below
right, okay.
the 35.
And, you know, we could get the railing to 35 if we notch the deck into the, you know, that bridge structure, but if it's, you know, if the calculations seem to work.
So, as long as they submit a full scale plan to Sue, is that what we want?
Yeah.
Then I'd say we can vote on what we have. We contingency that they
Provide the point.
provide a full scale plan.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send those up tomorrow.
Okay, we'll open the meeting, and, does anyone wanna make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion under 97-4D, Part 5D, it's a special permit for a finding, that the proposed reconstruction of the house as proposed is not more detrimental than the existing neighborhood, in the fact that it meets, well exceeds all the yard setbacks, it meets the lot coverage, it meets the FAR, and it meets the height requirements of the IOD.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With contingencies.
Yeah.
We'll get it done, so.
Can we keep this? Sure.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the full-size
I'm
concept.
gonna mark this up, we'll mark this up, so we can have a site plan back.
Right.
I'll mark this up, so I'll keep that.
Is there any other business tonight, sir?
We just wanted to look at the recent regulations for
Okay.
comprehensive permit.
Before you get off that, Eric, I just want to be sure that I understood correctly. You want to take a look at the definition of mean roof height?
Yeah, I've looked at some other zoning, and we're not a city, but in a bigger city, you would take the average mean height, the height of the building to the average height of the gabled roof. Where you have a flat roof or a parapet roof, the height is to the top of the parapet.
Is that not reflected in that bylaw?
No, it's specified.
Okay.
And so when people are adding depths and railings, and what's the real true height, and how are we, I'm not opposed to a roof deck, I'm just opposed to whether it's the same.
How you're defining the mean, yeah,
Right.
I
Right,
understand.
if you have, if you have the peak, and then you put a
People-
roof deck on top of it, or try to put a roof deck on top of it, it exceeds the intent of the law, or the
Right.
intent of the bylaw, I should
Right,
say.
people were taking, just as Howie said, the gable and putting it right on top and counting the mean height to the mean height of the gable. But yet you had this flat surface roof deck that wouldn't be as large in construction and physicality if it was a gabled roof like this or a flat roof on top of that gable. You know, it's just a much bigger bulking structure, and that's the whole essence of what we're just trying to control, is that there's uniformity in that mass that people are allowed to build.
Right.
So, that,
Yeah,
I had something saved somewhere that I will note to pull up or.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any sample bylaws or anything
Yeah,
like that we could
yeah, I have a
look at?
diagram that
Happy to.
helps get to the point.
Yeah, like I said, we've got some time, but we've got some, just informal, posted, but informal, workshops on zoning amendments
Right,
over the next couple of weeks.
and then the word reconstruction has various definitions that you read through too. I had printed that, but then,
I have it here, if you need it. As you had instructed me at our last meeting, we
Right,
wanted
yeah.
town council to look at it
Right.
to see if there were any recommendations. There were some minor modifications that were recommended. I do have that here, if you don't have it with you, if you want to reference it. I took the liberty of updating it with that information.
Right, so this is what you emailed us, yes, a
Correct.
few
Yep.
weeks ago, right?
Mhm.
and it wasn't all that onerous of edits, to say,
Right.
to sum it up.
You want all of this?
No. I don't have to remember.
Lucky you. Right.
So
I like the complete application. I like
Right.
that one.
between this 40B and our current application, those are the guidelines for the Newbury ZBA process. I did find somebody else's zoning whereby they have rules of order of the ZBA, and I've saved it and started to read it and ponder upon it as to maybe being helpful in having some clarity of conduct should we need a little bit more direction or something to fall back on. So until I get that presented to these guys. I thought it was pretty straightforward and fine tuning in reading it.
Just clarification.
Okay, so do we?
So we probably should just vote on it.
Right.
So I have it marked in the record and I'll stamp
Right.
it with the town clerk's stamp.
Okay.
You don't need a public hearing for that?
Not for the rules and regulations.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to address the new rules and regulations.
Motion to accept the new rules and regulations for the comprehensive permit.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Now, next question. We have somebody?
I've not heard of anybody having come forward yet. We've also not received any notification from Mass Audubon either. So, they've had comments, I think, for about 3 weeks now from the planning board, which summed up all the comments from all the departments, including the selectmen and themselves, so, we're still waiting for that
That's yours?
information. Yeah, please.
I looked at the email that you sent to, was it Mary Rimmer? Oh, she's in there. Is it Mary? Somebody doing the review, and it said if you wanted to go on to Mass Housing to look at the application. But when you click on that, because I wanted to see what the application looked like, you can't, you have to go through you as a town.
Yeah, I didn't bother, I didn't really read any of the preliminary application information, because I really didn't want to get into it, because we're not really part of that process. But I know she's, part of the environmental piece.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say about it.
Okay. Well,
Has anybody addressed Adam about me?
not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think it's really just a matter of seeing if anybody's gonna come forward, then if nobody does,
Now you have to,
what
what do we do?
are our options?
Right. So, this hasn't got to do with us, but did I read in the paper that the selectmen only have one person came forward for the building, the town hall building? They only have one person on the committee? Did I read that?
You did read that. I know nothing of it. I'm staying out of it at the moment.
Right.
I have my hands full.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, I know.
And I know that, I think they're trying to get the directive clear,
Sort of.
sorted out and clear, so they all understand what they're asking this committee to do and how the committee should do it. So when it comes back, they have something more than, well, we asked you to go do something and you came back with something, now what do we do kind of thing. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And then from people writing letters in the paper, throwing numbers around
Yeah.
and being negative, it's not helping anybody want to serve on a board or put any time into something that someone else is just gonna trample over with
Right.
little facts or disregard for the effort.
Yeah. Well, we have a motion to close the meeting.
Motion to close the meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.